Okay, so before this video starts, I would like to thank you guys so much for 300 subscribers. When I started this channel, honestly, I just started it to introduce to you guys the MBRP exhaust, which is one of the first videos I ever did on the channel, and just show you guys how good a Mustang EcoBoost can actually sound. And along the way, we got to meet people, go to a crap ton of car meets, see a bunch of cool cars I never thought I would ever see in my life, put new mods that I honestly wouldn't have put on the car if it wasn't for the YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel really pushed me to put out more content, and it even involved the introduction of a brand new car, which is the Mazda Miata. So with that being said, guys, thank y'all so much for 300 subscribers. I know I made a huge deal about 100 subscribers, which is honestly crazy to me, and it is crazy to me to think that now we have more than 3 times that many, and hopefully more crazy content to go along with that. So yeah, guys, enjoy the video. This is not how I envisioned starting out my video. So yes, this is the video that nobody wants to make about their project car. Actually, they might want to make it about their project car because it means they actually get to work on the car. Unfortunately, I am a fan of doing mods to a car instead of repairing the car, as that is more fun, and I get to enjoy it more a little bit later. But yes, the bulletproof Mazda Miata is broken.
Oh, hell no!
So basically, horror story time. We were driving it around. We were driving nice. It was working perfectly. Everything was good about it. And then the clutch started to squeal a little bit. Now it was just a little bit of a squeal. It wasn't anything crazy, but it still worked perfectly fine. And I was like, I just brushed it off. I said, you know what? It's probably not that big of a problem. The car seemed like, by the condition of it, that it's been sitting for a while. So the fact that we're putting some really good miles on it, it seemed fine. I feel like it's just go ahead and warm it up. Maybe some things need to be replaced later on, but as long as the car is driving fine, I feel like there's nothing to worry about. Fast forward to a few days later, we were driving it home, and literally on the road that we live on, the car would not go into gear. The engine was on and it would literally not kick into any gear whatsoever. It was just stuck in neutral. Luckily, we were going about 35 miles an hour, so we were able to limp it home and into the garage, especially since it was late at night. But it happened all of a sudden. There was no signs of slippage in the clutch, nothing that I'm aware of, and it just wouldn't go into gear very quickly and all of a sudden. Now the car will go into gear perfectly fine with the engine off. Not a problem. It is working perfectly fine with the engines off. However, when the car is on, it will, and with my foot on the clutch, it will not go into any gear at all. It won't. It just. Also, when I have my foot on the clutch, it makes this noise. So it kind of sounds like a spinning, like maybe the clutch is not disengaging all the way. I have no idea. But when it's off, as you can hear, you don't hear it anymore. It sounds perfectly fine. Engine sounds fine. When I put my foot down, you can hear that. So that leads me to 2 conclusions on why the Miata might be broken. Let me go ahead and put the pop-ups up. At least the car can be happy while I'm not, you know? But yeah, guys, my conclusion is 2 things. One is the cheaper, and it sounds like with the symptoms, it might be it. It might be the slave cylinder and the master cylinder. I know that they have some kind of problems with these cars that they go out, especially if you replaced it and you put an aftermarket one that is a lot cheaper, they tend to go out a lot earlier. The fact that it happened all of a sudden, the fact that the clutch had no slippage, it leads me to believe that that's it. The second and more unfortunate thing that it might be is something to do with the clutch. Now, I do not know. The owner did not tell me when the last time the clutch was replaced. The car is driving fine. Right before it happened all of a sudden. And, you know, like I said, there was no slippage in the clutch. I didn't feel like there was anything wrong. It was able to go on trips perfectly fine. And then all of a sudden, it just died. Also, I forgot to mention, one more thing is that if I throw it in gear and start the car, even though my foot is all the way on the clutch, it'll still keep rolling forward. Like, it'll just, you know, when you have your foot on the clutch, it's supposed to stop. It's basically like the clutch is already engaged, but my foot's all the way on the floor. So that's another symptom. Leads me to believe that it might be something with the clutch. It took about 300 miles to break the Miata. Good job, Martin. You did it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and switch the Miata and put it in the garage and take the Mustang out, and that way we can go ahead and jack up, take off the passenger side front wheel, look at the slave cylinder and see if that's the problem. I'm actually working on my cars. Yay! I'm actually really excited. When I put that chin spoiler on, I had a blast. Boys! I know this is not the same, but yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Everyone knows I have done about 20 cold starts on the Mustang EcoBoost, and this will probably be the 21st, but it still sounds really cool to me every single time. It is a warm start though, so it's not that cool. And there we go. Now I know you guys have missed having the Mustang on the channel. Two things that I really plan on doing with the Mustang is, one, I plan on taking it to Steeda to get it dynoed. I think dynoing a 4-cylinder Mustang is really hilarious, knowing that they do supercharged GT500 dynos, GT dynos, and putting a 4-cylinder on there I think will be hilarious. I think it'll be good content. A lot of people are looking for stuff. This car does have the Ford Performance tune on it, so it is not stock, and I want to see what kind of numbers she is making with the Ford Performance tune. So that's a really good idea. Also, another idea, I want to get that strut bar brace that goes on the top hood right there. I think that's a really good idea, and all of those will be done sooner than later depending on the condition of the Miata. If I don't have to buy another clutch, a full kit for it, that will be coming relatively soon. I want to make sure both of the cars are running. I want to make sure both of the cars are good before I do anything extra to the cars. That is the most important thing, is getting them running. After they're running, you can do whatever you want to them. Buy a 30-year-old car, they said. It will be fun, they said. Okay, so we have successfully put the Miata into the big garage. That was my first time starting it in a gear and just rolling it while it's in a gear, and it's actually behaving pretty well. So in gear, it's doing pretty good. It's just getting it into the gear. Also, after you're finished and I put my foot on the clutch, I can't get it out of the gear either. So once it goes in the gear, it's stuck. I have to turn the car off, turn it back on, or put it in neutral, put it in the next gear, turn it back on, and then roll it in. Other than that, it behaved pretty good. It went over this bump fairly well. Okay, so we jacked the car up on one side, we took the wheel off, and we started messing around in there. As you can see, the slave cylinder looks fine to me. I mean, maybe the travel isn't as long as it's supposed to, but we found a much bigger problem in the slave cylinder. And what that was is, somewhere deep in there in the engine, there was some metal pieces that were just hanging. And when I took it out, and here they are. They were like almost hanging from the bottom of the trans. And what this looks like, by the looks of it, here, let me show it to you guys, make sure it's in focus. It looks like the inside part of the ring of the pressure plate. It has these little ridges on the top right here, and that kind of match up to what the pressure plate looks like on the inside part. I'll throw a picture up. But yeah, this was hanging from the engine. 2 of these, and I assume there's many more somewhere in there. So with that being said, I can, with a 90% chance, say that the pressure plate is absolutely done, and why second gear was a little bit jumpy. I feel like that makes a lot more sense now, considering that, you know, maybe the pressure plate wasn't letting go all the way, wasn't engaging as much, and that resulted in a little bit of a jumpy gear. Now that I think about it, I did start hearing a little bit of a metal piece moving around a little bit, just a little bit, not that much though. And I feel like for a 30-year-old car, a lot of that stuff is normal. But I didn't know it was to this extent. But we found it, and now we know for a fact that we need to do a full clutch job, because either we get the pressure plate out of there, a lot of stuff is bound to come next if the parts that were put on there previously, maybe it's even the original, who knows if it even got changed. It might be cheap aftermarket. So we'll see. But overall, I'm glad I found out what it was. Pretty cool. I feel like a detective. Yeah. I'm still trying to decide if I should change it on my own, because now that I know it's not something that's regular, something that usually happens to a lot of people, I'm a little bit scared to go in there now, seeing what else we could find. I'm so glad that we found out what was wrong, because now I have a video to post to the people on YouTube that might be having the same problem. But yeah, guys, if you guys are experiencing any of the symptoms, and if the forums are kind of helping you, because the symptoms are all over the place, can't go into gears, you can when the engine is off. Once you get it into gear, I found out it was actually going pretty okay. Once you get into gear while the engine's off and then you turn it back on just to get it into this garage, it seemed pretty okay. It happens all of a sudden. It's not something where you experience the clutch slipping and then, you know, it's just not doing it over time. It's something that happens like just like that. That kind of gave it away that it was something that wasn't supposed to happen. One more time at the look at this metal piece. I am about 90% sure that it is from the pressure plate, and this could be an indication of a bunch of stuff yet to come for the Miata, considering what might have happened to lead to this moment of this part of the pressure plate coming off, and the rest of it that is still lying somewhere in the transmission. with that being said, if you guys commented in the beginning of the video telling me what was wrong with it originally, tell me guys if you guys were right or wrong. I didn't think I was gonna come to this conclusion today, but I did. And with that being said, guys, like, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video. Thank y'all so much for 300 subscribers. I just got a lot more content, so I'll see y'all later. Bye.